City Shade Tree Commission meeting for November 13th, 2014. We have no Title 33 tree permit and right-of-way issues. We do have two Title 37 landscape ordinance issues. The first one is Rivergate Apartment Complex, and that will be Mr. Snyder, is it?
Yes.
Are you going to present this?
No, Matt.
Okay, Matt Leisure's. Okay, well, Matt, if you could come up to the podium and just introduce yourself and then describe the project.
My name is Matt Leisure. I'm a landscape architect with MKSK. This is my third time here. We've been to BZA meetings twice already for this project. Our firm's worked on some other projects in Athens. The Essence of Athens plan we worked on a little bit. We've also are working on the master plan for the ridges. We've done some work on OU's campus, so we're pretty familiar with Athens. Just to give you a little overview, if we can flip to the plan here on the screen, we'll talk about this for just a minute. I'm going to go really quickly through the first part here, so if you have any questions, we can come back to it. But this is the plan from our last BZA meeting. So this was September 9th, and this plan was approved. We did get a variance for lot coverage for 77.5% lot coverage. 60% is the requirement, so that was the primary variance. The original time we came to BZA, we had a 4-story building, and we did not have a 1-to-1 parking ratio, so we were asking for actually 4 variances, and we got a variance for 1 the second time around here. So just to give you kind of a little bit of background on the site plan, the site is 10 South Green Drive. It's currently the church property. River Park is here west of our property, and River's Edge is here north of our property. So these two properties are both owned by the developer of this property. So eventually these all three will be kind of united into one cohesive student housing complex. The building itself is 232 beds. It's parked with a 1-to-1 ratio. It's a U-shaped building, 3 stories. You can see a rendering of it here. I'll flip to that in a second. It's got parking underneath the main part of the building, so that it's actually a 3.5-story building. It's got parking behind, and then a pool terrace here. So this is actually elevated above additional parking. So basically, most of the site on the ground level is parking. We tried really hard to really enhance the edges with as much tree planting process. We're 4-inch shade trees. So I think code is 1.5 inch. So we wanted kind of instant impact, and as part of that variance for lot coverage, we wanted to have as much green as possible. So we do have 4-inch shade trees, as you see here. So here's kind of the front of the building. This is the south face of what you just saw. So it's the bottom of the U. Main entrance is here, with accented by the stair tower. We do have a slight grade change up to the first floor of the building. The building's in the floodplain, so that gets us up out of the floodplain. The first floor is out of the floodplain. We have ornamental trees along the face of the building and planters. And then we've tried to create basically a streetscape along the south edge of the project, even though it's on private property. So this is kind of an odd situation where the sidewalk, the curb is actually on public or OU's property, but the sidewalk is on our property, but it'll feel like it's a street. So that was one of the kind of main design intentions. Over here we've got some ornamental trees. This is the side of the property that faces River Park, so that's facing our property as well. So this plan is our refinement to that conceptual plan. We basically took it a step further. A couple things I just want to point out here. You see a lot of hatches. I'm going to try to zoom in on this a little bit so it's a little easier to see. Okay, so a couple of things that we also did as part of the zoning process, these hatches that you see here over the parking areas are pervious concrete. So we were trying to decrease the amount of pervious surface on the project. Even though it's paved, it's pervious. Your code does not actually allow us to count that as pervious surface, but we're still trying to create pervious surface. Okay. And then on the north side here, we can go back to the plan on the screen. We had this issue last time. I'll keep talking here. On the north side of the project, we have grass pavers. So those basically like a grasscrete product, which is a concrete paver that has gaps in it to allow for grass to grow. We really don't think that those parking spaces will be used that often. The other properties park at like a 70% ratio, something like that. So we really think that these spaces won't be used that often. So we wanted to try to make them feel and look green to the extent possible. So that's why we have that grass paver. When it comes to trees, we have this table on the landscape requirements that we submitted. Given that we're trying to really use every square inch of the site, the tree requirement, it's 30 feet on center. Oops, getting ahead of myself here. The tree requirement is 30 feet on center for shade trees, 15 feet on center for ornamental trees, and 15 feet from the building for shade trees. That was really tough to achieve on this project because, like I said, we're using every square inch. So what we've done is we've calculated the number of trees that we needed for the site in total, and that's in this chart here. So we need 72 total trees. Out of that, we have 35 shade trees that comply with your code. We have 7 shade trees on our plan that don't comply because they're too close to a building or too close to another tree. And then we have 60 ornamental trees that don't comply with your code, to the letter of the code. And those count as half a shade tree. So that's 30 additional shade trees. So we have 72 total shade trees on our project. So even though they don't all meet the spacing requirements, we still have the correct amount of trees. And that's actually kind of alluded to in your code. So in section 370103E, it says if the specific application of landscape requirements will seriously limit functions of the site, the Shade Tree Commission shall have authority to permit consolidation or relocation of these landscape requirements elsewhere within the site or to a public park or right-of-way within the city. So we've approached that particular issue with the intent of consolidating our shade tree plantings through the use of ornamental trees that are kind of clustered close together and also kind of spaced around our building. A couple other things here. We do have a pool terrace. The pool terrace doesn't have any trees on it, but it does have some landscaping. So we're trying to kind of make that feel really nice and welcoming. So this is about 10 feet up in the air, but it does have planters on the pool terrace itself. And then one last thing here, I'm going to zoom out on this. Because we're essentially required to screen parking as part of the landscape requirements, we would be screening parking from ourselves since we own the property adjacent on the west and north sides. So our owner, Homestead America, this is a joint venture between Homestead America and Columbus Pacific Properties. Our owner, Homestead America, has written a letter asking to waive the requirement for screening of the parking on those sides of the property. And that is also something that's discussed in the landscape code. So I won't read that section. It's part of the code. So with that, I went really quickly through that. I can go back and answer any questions.
Well, I've got one observation. In terms of the numbers of trees, my calculation is that you need 64 trees and not 72.
Okay.
That's based, I think, on the way that you calculated the number of trees for the impermeable area. You didn't allow for the fact that each of those trees needs 240 square feet of permeable space, and that's then deducted from the permeable area that you've got left on the site.
Okay.
And so you finish up with slightly fewer trees than you actually calculated.
Okay.
So we're pleased that I'm certainly pleased that you've got more trees than that. I understand that you're going to try and fulfill this with some of the ornamental trees. That is certainly allowed in the ordinance. We would like you to make those the medium-sized trees where possible.
Okay.
Again, it's just the size of trees. The other observation I would have is that in some of the artists' impressions of the appearance, you seem to have fastigiate trees in there, and we discourage those because they're not giving the shade.
Okay.
Unless it's really necessary because of the site and so on, it's better that you try and keep away from fastigiate varieties.
Yeah, I think our intention is to use clump type shade or ornamental trees. I'm not sure if those would count towards the medium tree definition I think in your list here.
Yeah, I've given you the list. I mean, the medium trees are the ones with a 30-foot maturity.
Okay. Okay.
So that's and there's a pretty broad range of trees that you can get in there.
Okay.
Other questions?
Yes, I have a question. You've asked for a variance because these two properties are owned by the same people. So it's like if you wanted to sell one building, you wouldn't be able to because you would have them hooked together?
No, I think the reference was to the fact that in the ordinance we require adjacent owners to agree with the developer that there's no need for buffering. And they got that, but it turns out that they're essentially joint owners of this entire complex.
So if they would sell one of these at that time, then
that just leaves a problem. That's
too
all.
late.
Yeah, it's too late then. All we can do is deal with what we have today.
Okay.
And what we have today is an adjacent owner who agrees that there's no need for buffering.
Okay.
And that's where we have to leave it. Other questions?
Can you give an example of where you're not meeting the spacing requirements?
Sure. So, for example, here on the west side of the building, we're required to have, I think, a 10-foot setback, something like that. So the building is actually closer to the property line than what the tree spacing requirement is. So we're supposed to have tree space 10 feet from the building. We only have 10 feet there to work with. So we're just not meeting that. Another example here, these two shade trees on the north face of the building. Again, we have space to plant those, but it's not 15 feet away from the facade of the building. It's up close to the building.
Okay, so approximately 10 feet instead of 15.
Right.
You said that you were planning to use 4-inch trees for more immediate impact. Have you been successful in the past using that size tree? It was my understanding that the 1.5 to 2-inch trees establish better and grow faster than the larger sizes.
Yeah, our firm does a lot of big projects, big streetscape, big shopping centers, that kind of stuff. And we would always recommend using larger trees for the initial impact. A 2-inch tree may in fact grow faster and establish better, but it looks small in a big project. So we typically use 2.5+ inch trees on almost all our projects, especially.
And you don't find that you have greater loss over time with those trees?
Generally, no. And it obviously depends on maintenance and how they were planted and those kinds of things, but generally they've all done okay.
So you've been tracking them?
We don't necessarily track them,
Okay,
but
so-
we have projects that have fully mature trees now that planted with big trees.
So it's more of a feel. You have it's more you have a feeling that they've been successful rather than data.
Right. An example would be like Easton Way, for example, where we actually use 7-inch trees. So those were big trees, and they're all doing okay for the most part. They've lost a few here and there. They've replaced those, but for the most part, that's become pretty established.
Other questions? In my opinion, they seem to be making a good effort at trying to comply with the requirements of Title 37. I think the variance requested to be able to plant the trees closer than 15 feet is certainly acceptable to me. Do others have
concur.
Okay.
Yeah. I would support it.
Do we have any other questions at all or comments? No? Okay. In that case, is there any objection to approving this plan? No? Okay. Go forward with your plan to
All right.
Title 41 steps now, I guess.
We're
And,
just starting that approval process, so.
yeah. And I'll put this in our minutes and send and make sure John gets a copy for his files. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yep.
Next up, we've got the Surge Centre Medical Office, and Ryan Buckley, I believe, is going to present these plans.
Okay.
Is this yours?
Presenting for the Surge Center, which is a new medical facility going in University Estates. We've been through Title 41 process, got approval on that. Basically, an overview of the project. It's located at University Estates. It's the northern half of Lot 11, which is the first lot as you come into University Estates on the left. It's currently vacant land. We're proposing a 12,000 square foot medical facility with parking all around the building. Currently, the lot area is 101,000 square feet. With development of the lot, there'll be 54,000 square feet of impervious area. We have developed a landscaping plan from Greenleaf Landscapes here in town. I don't know if you guys have a copy of that. It's probably about the last page. Basically proposing the trees all around the building. We have open grass areas in the front of the building to a lower tier parking lot. The area to the south, green area of the parking lot will actually be a bioswale for retention of stormwater and treatment before we send it on. The current site has a 50-foot landscaping buffer along University Estates Boulevard, which we're maintaining with several trees in that area. And the property is neighbored across University Estates is apartments R3. The other 3-4 sides of the lot are vacant. So that's basically an overview of the landscaping plan. Shows the trees and that Greenleaf are anticipating putting on the site.
David, I can add, this has already been through Title 41 and met all approvals as well.
I thought I had a plan that told me how many trees you were going to plant. I can't find it. There are two versions of the plans, aren't there?
I think so.
Yeah, and I've managed to pull out the wrong one.
Yeah, we have a total of 36 trees on the site.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you consider a hawthorn a medium, or?
The
I think it's
western
a small
portion of the lot
crop
is actually currently wooded.
Yeah.
We're not going to disturb any of that.
I'm sorry, what was...
The western portion of the lot is currently wooded, and we are not going to disturb any of that wood area.
Okay. Are you taking any of those trees into account in this?
No, not in the 36 number, no.
Okay. But, and are they part of the 101,000 square feet of...
Yes,
Okay.
they would be in the 101,000.
Okay. Well, you can count trees within there. if they're large shade trees and they're 30 feet apart.
Yeah,
In fact, we encourage people to maintain woodland like that if they can.
yeah.
And that's, so that will be a bonus in that sense. And sorry, which side of the plan is that on?
It would be the western above to the left of the parking lot.
Okay.
The kind of elevated parking lot on the left side of the plan.
Is this oriented north?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so west over there?
Yes.
Okay,
It'd be the west slope over there.
Yeah.
Is heavily wooded.
yeah. Is river birch one of the large ones?
It's actually a medium.
Medium, yes, medium.
On the list of medium.
What are the species, David, since we don't have a plan?
There are four red oaks, 11 London pine trees, 7 white pine, 1 tulip tree, 2 Kentucky coffee trees, 8 cockspur hawthorn, 2 river birch, and 1 red maple. So the hawthorns are small. The white pine, is that one we count as a...
I think we
I
count it
didn't
as a
see
large.
the white pine on your list.
No, I don't
Let me
either.
see. I mean, it would meet the criteria of a large shade
No, well,
tree.
we don't usually consider them to be shade trees, do we?
If they grow big enough, they can be, yeah.
Well, they don't.
I mean,
have
there's a
the same kind of
there's a
canopy.
wonderful example on West State Street Park of a whole row of these things being planted, and they by limbing them up, they've created a very shady area for people to stand in.
Not exactly not a canopy, exactly. But what side of the park, sometimes when the conifers are planted, like on the north side, then it helps break the northwest, breaks
Yeah, the white
wind.
pines are on the north side of the building.
Yeah, I think they're the ones there and over there. Yes, that's right. So what questions have we got for this site?
What's the total number required, David?
That was on my other sheet.
Okay.
36.
Let's see if we can find your other sheet. 'Cause
No, I can't.
Your math is good.
It's all right. I'll run the calculation. I can do that too.
Do you know the size of the wooded lot approximately?
Of the wooded area?
Wooded area? Yeah.
It's approximately, probably 12,000 square feet.
12,000 square feet?
Yeah, I make it just quickly, I just did a calculation of 57 trees. Was that what you, how many trees did you say?
36.
36.
Unless I did the calculation wrong.
No, I'm still getting 57.
What are you using as the square footage?
54,000 of in-purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
And then that means you've got 46,000 of permeable space.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I was counting the existing trees as
It's covering that.
as covering.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, the total requirement would be 57.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And what I think you should do is have a look at that lot. And as I said, in 12,000 square feet, I don't know how many trees you would
Have 30-foot center.
on 30-foot centres. That would be, well, it's 100 by 100, isn't it? 12,000 square feet. So
Yes.
you'd have you'd have 9 at least, probably a dozen trees.
At least,
Yeah.
yeah. And most
Yeah.
of the trees on those sites are pretty mature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very wooded.
Yeah. So that would knock you down to 50, from 57 to 45.
Five.
Yeah. And
So we have 15, 22, 23, 5. And that's small. 20, 27, and the Hawthorns don't qualify.
Well, they only count as small trees.
You need to have, what, two hawthorns to make a shade tree?
3.
3?
So that would be about 30.
I think the hawthorns are on the
They're small. They're small, I
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're definitely looking for a few more trees
Okay.
in that sense. Trying to see what opportunities you've got. What centres have you planted these trees on? Let me see. 1, 2.
Several of them are very far apart.
Yeah, the ones on that western side. If I use the spacing of if I use the parking spaces.
Yeah, the parking spaces
You've got
are
1,
10
2,
feet.
3, 4. You're 4 parking spaces apart,
Mm-hmm.
and that would indicate to me they're more than 30 feet.
Yeah. Oh, we can scrunch them up, yeah.
So I think you're going to have to bring them closer together.
Well, our east side, we can put a lot more trees in there.
Yeah.
Put them on top.
So I think we're mainly concerned with the numbers of the trees on this one. And that what we'll do is we'll write it up with you able to then estimate the number of trees you've got available from that wooded lot to contribute to this. That's something that
We need to count the trees on the lot
That are 30 feet apart.
30 feet apart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I have a feeling there's more than,
that's what we
there's
just
plenty
did.
on there.
Yeah. We were trying to estimate it just based on a square area, and we think you're going to come up with probably at least 12 trees from that, if not more. Because
Is there a certain size that we have to meet when we're counting these trees?
no, because usually as long as they are large shade trees, and you just pick them off the list here. If you can identify.
Sure, it's all oak and poplar. And
Yeah, I mean, those are all large shade trees.
That's all.
You just count them up. We prefer mature trees. I mean, we really encourage people to. We try and think of ways to help you keep things like that. Because, we think it's much better for the community if we can maintain existing trees where it's all possible. So I'd encourage you to keep those and use them as best you can in the total tree count for this. So we know we've got some contributing from this existing woodland. And then it looks like you will be able to increase the density of trees on the rest of the lot.
Oh, we can increase the east a lot also.
Yeah.
Bunch them in there.
And even around the parking area, you've got 1, 2, 3. Again, you've got trees that are spaced more than 30 feet apart. And it's the parking areas that we really want to try and provide the shade for. That's what people like to do with their cars, is park them underneath a big shade tree. And that's one of our objectives as the Shade Tree Commission, to get as much shade over parking lots and as we can. So I think there's enough space there for them to meet the requirements. I think it's just a case of reconfiguring the plan
and make them tighter.
and doing things. So I'll write it up in that form, and again I'll give it to John, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Yeah. But we really appreciate you trying to save the woodland at the side there.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any objection to approving it, as I just outlined? No? No. Good. It's approved. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Did you have any questions, John, before we...
No, I would just like to commend both parties that have been here tonight with our stormwater management plan and how they both are starting to take into consideration, and we're really pushing the bioretention and that the parties are starting to come forward with those, and that's what we're really liking to see.
Mm-hmm. So. Good. Right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, that's the end of the Title 37 items. Ron, can we have your report, please?
Sure. Taking some notes here, David, sorry. Fall planning is ready to go. Approved it with Mason Chambers from Five Springs Farm. I'm looking at $8,100 to plant. I believe the tree commission money is $6,000. I'm going to use that. But yeah, we're gonna plant around the middle school. Continue that Alvy McWilliams tree. Some street trees on Court Street that need replaced. 157 Morris Avenue. Some trees at the community center that were removed earlier this summer. We're going to replace those with shade trees. 63 Morris, pin oaks for Greg Broadhurst, and then we're going to finish out the Columbus Road median, which will be predominantly swamp white oak, 15 of those, 7 autumn blaze maple, and 6 service berries. So that would be our fall planting. Hopefully we'll be in the ground before December.
Any reason for going for the autumn blaze rather than the Acer Freemanii?
Excuse me?
Any reason for going for the autumn blaze rather than the Acer Freemanii?
No, I can change. I didn't have a reason other than I find them very attractive.
Yeah, I mean, they're nice trees. I've been very impressed, though, with the rate of growth and the colour of the Acer Freemanii that we planted.
I thought that the autumn blaze was an Acer Freemanii.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was one of the red maples.
Well, the October Glory is a
Maybe that's the one I'm confusing it with.
really nice red maple.
Okay. Maybe I'm mixing them up.
Absolutely positive, but I think it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could well be. Yeah. But as I say, I've been very impressed with the Acer Freemanii that we planted. They've got beautiful colour, and the structure is very good.
But there are a number of different cultivars among those. Mm-hmm. That's the term for all of the crosses between the silver maple and the red maple.
Okay.
The Court Street trees are in front of the Import House and the overhang, both on North Court Street. Going to try to continue to make efforts to keep those in the ground. The other one in the uptown area is Family Dollar. This will be the 4th tree replacement. I'm getting to the point where I think that we're just throwing money away on that site. So we may want to look at relocating that tree pit.
Have they been damaged or just didn't survive in that?
No, they get backed into by their delivery truck.
Okay.
And the tree's gone at that point.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe the third time should be the charm, Ron.
Well, I really would like to look at that site. I know that we wanted to make an effort to keep that tree there because of the look. But if it's going to continue to be a problem, some drivers are better than others.
We gave up at Lowe's. We gave up on that.
I don't want to give up so freely, but it doesn't make sense if we're going to continue to have that, and we can look at it, and we can hopefully work something out there.
When I saw a truck going into the Kroger's area and saw how far over the curb it went, I was not encouraged.
Yeah. You see it quite often if you're driving behind a semi. You can watch them roll curbs and hit signs quite often. So trees are no exception to that.
So a sign, beware of the tree, wouldn't help. Okay.
Do some of the tree pits there have protection around them?
They have signposts with reflective.
I thought there was more than that
with reflective sheeting on them that are pounded into the ground. Okay. They don't protect against a truck. They essentially scratch the bumper of the truck, and then the tree goes away. So we lose, 4 things at once. So maybe a bollard would be appropriate. That's something
or
that
some
we
big
can look
rocks,
at.
maybe. I'm impressed with the way rocks stop people driving over corners.
I wanted to get your feelings of something. Tree City USA application is due soon. David, I'll need a write-up. I can write something and whatever you write as well, we can combine.
Yeah.
Also, since this will be our 25th year of being a Tree City USA, I thought it would be a good opportunity to have the Tree City USA Awards in Athens. Mm-hmm. So I think we should push for that.
Okay.
Ann Bonner seemed to be happy with that. but I think that would be an opportunity for us to show off a little bit.
Okay. Good.
Okay, I'll move forward with that. Probably sometime in April are the awards. So we'll probably get a fancy flag and a nice Tree City USA glass award. So the AEP line clearance is going on. This is the main distribution lines that are throughout the city that are being cleared. They're on their 5-year cycle in the Near East, Far East sides of the city. And they're also doing some other major distribution lines throughout the west side, doing their clearance. So far, most of the commentary is limited to Facebook, social media, regarding what's going on in the Near East side. As far as I'm concerned, from my perspective, Asplund is doing everything that we want them to do. They're going with hang tags, they're knocking on doors, they're having interactions with people, and they're getting on the same page. I've met with them more than once to discuss individual trees that are in the city right away to make sure that we're doing the right thing. And I think that they're doing a good job. So that will continue throughout the rest of this year and into next. And then they'll move on to a different circuit that's not been identified yet. So if you hear complaints about trees being removed or butchered, please let me know. And I can get a hold of, I have a couple contacts from Asplund and we can talk about it. One in particular I'm thinking about is at the intersection of Morris and Watt. David, this might be one that you might be able to see.
No, but there are no high voltage cables at
There's
Morris and Watt.
there's a tree at a pole,
Yeah.
and the guy wires are going into and through the tree. So I don't know what to do with that. It's stretching the guy wires.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So it's one of those problem trees that we're going to have to think about doing something with. I don't know if a pole can be re-anchored. I posed that question to Asplund, and they were going to follow up on checking into that. I'm not sure if that can happen.
It's the wires are growing into the tree, or the tree's growing around the wire?
Yeah, I think what happened is it wasn't planted there. I think it was a volunteer that's established itself and has grown, and it's now a pretty decent sized tree. I wouldn't call it a shade tree at this point, but it's growing quite a bit, and it's right under the line, and the pole has a transformer on it. So it's not a good situation for that tree or that pole. So, but those are the types of interactions that I've been having with Asplund. So I think that they're doing a pretty good job. So that's all I have.
Okay, good. Any questions for Ron? Okay, any other business? If not, somewhere around here we've got minutes from our last meeting. Would you like to just review those for a moment? A motion to approve them.
All motion to approve.
Thank you, David.
Second.
Thank you, John. Any discussion on the minutes? No. Are there any objections to approving the minutes? Hearing none, we have minutes of our last meeting. Our next meeting will be on December the 11th. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.